an undergraduate degree in psychology, and so my first position with a degree was working in the same hometown where I grew up, providing case management and therapeutic services for a community health center that specifically was geared to serving the community of Latino, most of them migrant farm workers. So that's kind of where I started. But the aha moment for me was the way that the young people who I'd been working with and seeing their strength and their resilience, enjoying that point where you don't see the exterior, but they allow you to see what's inside. I think that probably made a huge difference for myself in staying within youth services, and specifically young people experiencing homelessness. I'm a social worker. I think I pretty much live this seeing the positives, seeing the strengths and the opportunities when you have barriers or challenges. I think one of the most difficult for me was, and I mention this to students, like, you need to be prepared that you may not make enough money from one job when you finish your education, which is really disappointing. But looking back at it, I think that was a great opportunity for me to be able to do more than one thing in social services. You know, I mentioned I worked at a shelter, and at the same time, myself, I had gone through a personal loss, which left me in a situation where I had to find other work to supplement and to basically survive. Although it initially came out of a desperate need for survival for myself, it was probably the best opportunity to learn. Paying attention to what brings you joy in life is really important. That if you're not doing something that's bringing you bliss, if you're not feeling like you have a purpose, then exploring that further and really paying attention to when you are having those moments of joy and bliss, and seeing how you might be able to do that for the rest of your life or until it doesn't give you joy or bliss anymore. Yeah, you change, I think, a lot given the different opportunities you might have. You find yourself in the courses that you take. There's some interests and stuff that you're just like, I really like that. And I think that's the advantage of the undergraduate degree, where you get to explore a bit more. You can't help but fail a few times when you don't know what you're doing. You get used to it in a way that you don't stress so much about it. You know, the potential for failure is there, as well as the potential for success. And when you know how to fail, you can get back up. I think there's a higher power that tells you when you need to stop. And I think that speaks to you internally. And I think that only happens when you're really taking the time to pay attention. When you try something and it doesn't necessarily work, you should continue to try. Don't give up. But as you continue to try, if you lose heart about something, if you lose interest, or if something else is calling you, you should listen. Wow, that is a great question. I think I would tell her not to worry so much. You know, there are certain periods in our lives where things are not so clear. we don't necessarily know what direction we're going to go. And to be comfortable there in that discomfort. And knowing that if you're aware of that discomfort, maybe you'll also be aware of opportunities. And you'll see them and maybe act on them. Thank you. Yay! Hopefully that turned out okay.